Gather around, citizens. It's time for another Helldiving into Heroism.
Hellpod launch initiated.
Our story begins during the Operation Jinchi Falstaff lockdown. The planet Esker lays infected, blocking the liberation of Erison Sands. A pair of Helldivers has been dispatched on a tandem mission. Cassie's mission was simple: reclaim lost launch codes and bring them to an ICBM launch site. Seconds after impact, she was surrounded. Hurriedly, she called for her equipment. The Terminids, desperate to escape the righteous quarantine zone, fought fiercely. The ground shook, and a charger came tumbling out of the thick green fog. The eagle sang behind her as she jumped. The charger twitched a moment longer before falling dead. With it dropped, she quickly turned her attention to the task at hand, knowing every second wasted was paid in blood. Not far from Cassie, Rain tossed her orbital strike at the foul mushroom. Her mission had looked simple enough on paper, a bug hunt, but a seasoned Helldiver like her knew the real deal. She was kicking the hornet nest, a distraction for her fellow diver on the other side. The sudden loss of spores was replaced by the swarm, climbing over rocks and terrain to get her. She fired on and on, stopping barely a moment, even as the bugs wounded her. Stims coursed through her veins. She would outlast. The cries of pain on the line chilled her to the bone, but Cassie had to focus. Even with her partner causing a ruckus, she was not alone. A bug nest loomed between her and her objective. The quick strike of the eagle made short work of it. But a final one remained. She leveled her autocannon, firing a single shot to destroy the whole, her ears ringing as it blew apart the last spewer.
Hang in there, Rain. I'm working on it,
she muttered into her radio. Even though Rain couldn't respond to her fellow Helldivers' words, they bolstered her spirit. She rushed to the freshly landed supplies, grabbing them as more Terminids swarmed her location. Her blood ran cold at the sight of a charger. It was already a fierce battle, and the smaller bugs around it made it all the more deadly. She had to be quick, slamming her stratagem, hoping to bring down the proper ornaments to destroy this monster. But a sudden wave of bugs on her flank surprised her, another curse flying from her mouth as they drove her from the freshly landed weapon. Hurriedly, she called for her destroyer, rejoicing as the massive rounds began to pummel the area. They were close, but she was desperate. The swarm gave her no quarter, seeking to rip her to shreds with their tyranny-loving claws. Finally, she had the weapon, but the charger rumbled and thundered behind her. She had to take the shot. The headless body slid to a halt, but there was no time to rest. Swarm upon swarm, buying precious seconds for her Helldiver on the other side of the world. Another charger loomed, of course. She seized the second EAT, lining up her shot and nailing it.
Tell me you're almost done. It's getting hot here.
Rain laughed into her radio, a mixture of adrenaline, stims, and sheer annoyance coursing through her veins. Cassie was relieved to hear her fellow Helldiver over the radio.
Affirmative. First objective in sight,
she answered back before cutting the chatter. With the high ground, she lined up her shot. The small swarm of bugs caught her from their flank, but she dispatched them with ease. The real danger rushed from the side of the pit, its fat belly filled with acid, dropping to her knees to reload. She rose and fired, raining glory of death just in time, destroying the bug. Into the pit she went, her pulse quickening. If there was anywhere a Helldiver didn't want to be, it was in a hole with bugs. She rushed to grab the codes, taking only a moment of sadness to look at the slain thief members around her. Tactically, she turned, repositioning up the metal stairs behind her. This was her moment of triumph, but it was only the first step.
Codes recovered. Heading to the launch site.
She called on her radio.
Oh, hooray. Because I'm about to kick the biggest hornet nest this side of the planet. Get to the launch site, Cassie.
If you'd like to hear the rest of Cassie and Rain's story, make sure you tune in and subscribe. We'll return to more tales of bravery and freedom's greatest defenders next time on Helldiving into Heroism.